surging in the polls. Everybody loves him. He's basically going to bring change to LA. We're going to look at the spiritual side of this. We're going to look at the horoscopes and, what psychics are saying. I think he's got a really, really good shot at it. So we'll go deep into that. Will Lewis Herms, surge ahead and potentially, get to the point where he could be the governor of Cali? That would be fantastico. And I think that a lot of people would love that. But, cheaters got to cheat. And Democrats got to cheat. So we're going to have to really, really, look at that, going forward. There have to be, like we saw with President Trump against Hillary Clinton back in 2016, there will have to be a massive surge, a massive turnout, and a blue state. So Cali and LA only has 15% GOP. And so Spencer Pratt is running as Republican. So a lot of those Democrats are going to have to turn and vote red. Will they? All right. So that's what we're looking for. That's what we're hoping for. We just saw a massive red wave in the primaries across multiple states. And 36 of the people that President Trump was looking at, moving forward, all 36 of them, moved forward in the primary. So will that pace continue? Remains to be seen. But it's looking pretty strong right now. So I've been saying that the Democrat Party is going to go the way of the dodo bird, and it's going to go bye-bye, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, other things that we're looking at is a potential El Nino supercycle, which will dump massive amounts of rain and snow in the mountains, and turn the drought and the reservoirs that are Colorado River and so forth are really down, turn them around. Now, this supercycle could start as early as next month, which is, less than about 10 days away. So when I'm looking at, you see those clouds behind me, it's looking like we're going to get rain here in a little bit, maybe while we do the show. But that wasn't predicted. In fact, there's no predicted rain, hasn't been any predicted rain in my area for quite some time. So I think it's definitely moving in the direction of a super cycle. And I predicted last year that we would see massive, streams of water coming from all the way from Hawaii into California and then Colorado, and filling up all the reservoirs that are really low. And I've said that last year. So we'll see if that really pans out going into this year. Could be, like I said, starting next month. So could be very good for this area. It's already, out of a drought. It's like one of the only places in America that's out of a drought after 20 years of being in a drought. So it's pretty impressive. So will that continue? Will the reservoirs fill? I think, God is going to be good to California, because California is going to go red. Right? So, and if it doesn't, then everybody's going to leave California, and there's going to be a massive tsunami, and it's going to wash it away. Right? So it's up to you, Californians, whether you want to live or die. Right? Just kidding. Not. But anyway, El Nino coming. It's predicted in 1877 or something like that. There was a super cycle like we're going into, and 50 million people died. I don't think we're going to have that problem this time. In fact, we're very good at using rain and so forth, and storing it, and not letting it float too many of us away. But we'll see. All right. So drought was the thing that killed most people. So it moves water to areas that, like here in California and Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, and so forth, that will probably get a lot of this rain from this El Nino. But other places that will benefit will be the Atlantic, because they won't have any hurricanes. Like last year, they had hurricanes, but they never came ashore. So somebody was making sure that didn't happen for the first time in a very, 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 very long time. So this year could be no hurricanes at all. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully that's the way it works out. They need the rain, of course. In Florida, they're having a drought, a 20-year drought, and where I'm at, there's the cessation of a 20-year drought. How about that? That's crazy how that works, isn't it? All right, so let's look at some of this. Now, some of the things out there that we have to pay attention to, unfortunately. I know a lot of you guys don't like it, but we just have to keep our finger on the pulse of the deep state, trying to kill us, and they like to kill us with viruses, right? Or something that's like a virus, because no one's ever isolated a virus. All right, State Department issues alert for Americans in Ebola affected areas. U.S. State Department. So this isn't the WHO, right? This is our State Department, right? And we have a really good State Department now. So we don't need to say they're like, playing games with us from our own State Department. This is legit. So on May 21st, today, said that all American citizens, would Marco Rubio, screw us over, right? Because he's possibly going to be running for president. I think he's going to do the right thing all the way up to that and then beyond. So anyway, said that all American citizens and legal residents who have been in areas affected by the Ebola outbreak in Africa must go through a single airport, and that single airport is Washington Dulles International Airport. On my flights, after getting my orders from the CIA in Langley, I would go through Dulles and fly away to Middle Eastern countries for 11 years. Right, so flown out of that wonderful airport many times. So it is an airport where they can do the screening. So federal authorities with the Department of Homeland Security and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will carry out the enhanced screening. So it's a precaution. It's good to be precautious. Dulles is one of 3 airports serving the District of Columbia and its surrounding regions. An Ebola outbreak centered in Congo has led to more than 600 suspected cases and more than 130 suspected deaths, the World Health Organization official said on Wednesday. Ebola is a disease caused by orthoebolaviruses. It can cause symptoms such as fever, vomiting, and unexplained bleeding. So it seems to be picking up a little bit of a pace out there in the Congo area and other African countries, like not only the Congo, but also Uganda and South Sudan. So anyone coming from that area cannot be anyone else other than a U.S. citizen. So they're not letting anyone leave there but U.S. citizens with a U.S. passport. So just like we did with the China virus, Wuhan virus, we basically stopped Chinese coming to America, and the Democrats hated Trump for that, because how dare you take away our virus that we're trying to kill off America and take over and take you out of office with, right? So they were successful, of course. History is what it is, and this time we need to be. Trump is not fooling around, right? So he's being cautious because he knows these crazies, like to play these games because he was affected by it last time, guys. So the hantavirus is pretty much a nothing burger at this point. One American passenger feels betrayed by the federal government to stay in hantavirus quarantine So again, the Trump administration is not playing around, guys. Right? So President Trump has said no masking, no vaccinations, no lockdowns, but that doesn't mean that there can still be some of this craziness, floating around out there. So at the end of this, so one person is like, she's pissed because they told her that she was going to be able to go home, and she's having to stay there till the end of the month. So she's pissed about that, right? So, I don't know. I had to go through, I didn't have to go through lockdowns, but sometimes when I came through certain areas, we had to wait a little while while they monitored us, and then we were able to go. So it's just what it is when you travel overseas. Something like this can happen. So just be aware. I know a lot of you guys are traveling overseas. I say don't, if you've already planned it, do what you plan, just go, right? Unless you feel really, really strong that you shouldn't, don't be fearful. Do your travel, right? Do your travel around the U.S. If you get something going around the world, travel around the world, go for it. Ask Juan O'Savin. He travels more than anybody else that I know of. And so nothing seemed to happen to him. So you can believe it. So, Michael, I believe California is way more red than people think. Voting machines and voting fraud made it look more blue. Yes. Kathy, I agree with you. And hopefully, because we know the demons in California will, and I'm not being facetious, I'm not being cute. There's real problems with demons in California, guys. And Spencer Pratt has even said it. He's even said it. He's a spiritual guy. He's into crystals. I'm like, wow, my kind of guy. I'm thinking, I'd like to have him on my show. We can talk about some of these things, and I'll even volunteer. Spencer, you need a little free protective detail sometime? I'll come help you out, man. Because I think you're going to need it, right? I know he has a protective detail, and I'm sure they're really good, but the more the merrier in these cases. More eyes on, the better, right? So, that is out there. I'm putting it out there for Spencer Pratt's team. If they need a Navy SEAL that's had protective details with the highest of the highest, I would help you out. All right, so let's look at a little bit of this. Here we have a little piece of what's going on in California. The Democrats are kind of anxious.
Well, he's a character.
She's an incredible liar.
Your goal was to end street homelessness in LA by 2026. Mm-hmm. It's now 2026.
And we haven't ended it.
If we had Jesus Christ come down and count the votes, I would have won California.
Folks, the city of angels is a burning hellscape. And the Democrat establishment is now panicking because reality star.
The city of dark angels. And I hope you are praying, as I am, that the angels of love and light come and replace these dark angels of LA and California.
Spencer Pratt is surging against Karen Bass. Some polls showing this a complete statistical tie. And for the first time in decades, Deep Blue LA is in play. Let me repeat that again. Los Angeles is in play. Watch how Pratt's exposing her lies, the $1 million grift, and the total incompetence while she fails the city. Even President Trump is watching this race closely.
Spencer Pratt, do you see yourself in him at all? A former reality TV star?
No, I'd like to see him do well. He's a character. I don't know him. I assume he probably supports me. Does he support me? So, yeah, I heard he does.
He does. He voted for him, and he says that he did. And he's Republican. So who knows? Maybe Trump will throw his backing, I don't know, behind Spencer Pratt. Would that be a good thing for him? Or would the radicals in LA with their Trump derangement syndrome just go off? And that would not be a good thing for him. So maybe we'll see. I would say that President Trump backing him would be a good thing. I think there's the Democrats are tired of the Democrats, the Democrat politicians, and they're ready to vote for somebody who really will bring change.
I heard he's a big MAGA person. He's doing well. I don't know. If you have a rigged vote out there, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
You have a really rigged vote in California. You have all the mail-in ballots, everything else. Very hard to win because the elections are very dishonest. If we had Jesus Christ come down and count the votes, I would have won California.
All right, so I agree. But with the demons there, they keep the Christians and Jesus Christ and God out of there. All right, so it's tough. It's a tough win in California. But what I believe is if you have some very, I won't say aggressive, but very applying themselves, people that are watching the polls and so forth legally, of course, not being aggressive and trying to intimidate people. That's illegal anyway. That's felony. But if you have good poll watchers, and if you have I don't know, people actually come out and vote for Pratt, on a massive scale, which I think is going to happen. I think that's a very good possibility because if you look at the numbers, Pratt is followed by millions and millions and millions all across the social media platforms, all of them. Karen Bass, maybe 200,000-300,000. She posts something. If she's lucky, she gets 500 likes. Spencer Pratt posts something. He's going to have like hundreds of thousands of likes, millions of people, watching him and big names, big donors are getting behind him. So there is a very strong possibility. So it's better to come from behind and then ramp into the June 2nd primary than to be ahead all the way, right? You look at any election cycle, that works the best. So it looks like he is basically steamrolling into the finish line. Of course, like President Trump said, and like many of us in the social media patriot community, we all know and have said that California selects, and that's the only way they have all of those Democrats in there, because I think that California, and many people have affirmed that, there's more people that are conservative, red, if you will. I don't see myself as GOP or Democrat or independent or anything. I think the whole system needs to get a complete wash down, right? Power wash, and we start over. But we're moving in a direction where we're possibly putting people in positions where that could happen, right? So we can nuke the old system and then come in with the better. What is better? Letting people like Spencer Pratt, who has never had, or President Trump, or many other people over the last several years who have had no experience in the political realm, come in and then rise to the top and win, right? So anyone can do it. And that's always been, I remember when I was a little boy, and probably many of you, you could be president someday. Well, in our current system, that's pretty close to impossible, and has been for decades and decades. But I think we should return. I think we will return to that at some point. The person that has the most merit, the best ideas, and the best motivated people behind them, male or female, there will be the ones that go forward. Like Tara Jones in the chat here, she got selected out, right? She was running for her local school board, and it was completely corrupt, and she should have won. Everybody was voting for her, but this guy came in that had been there for a long time, and he was selected into that position. So she's been on my show. We've talked about it. This is complete nonsense that we have this in our country at this point. And I think it's on the way to changing, and at some point it will. And I think in the near term, I think it's we're going to see it. So El Nino, All right, we're going to go deeper into the Pratt situation. It's very important. But first, let's talk about the El Nino event, the biggest El Nino event since the 1870s. Super. El Nino is now the most likely scenario by the end of this year, and the humanitarian cost could be huge. So very strong El Nino probable scenario, like they're saying. So let's look at some of this. It says El Nino is the warmer phase of the natural El Nino Southern Oscillation, and it's looking very strong, and it started building in October 2026, or a likely scenario, it says October 2026 to February 2027, but there are possibilities that it could come in a lot sooner. So let me show you the graph here. Like I said, it could start as early. I mean, it's got like 90-something% chance of starting this next month. So here's the May, June, July. It's about 80%. So May's out of there. So we're already moving into June. So June, July, August. So it has one of the highest chances, well over 90, it's 92%. And then the July, August, September, 90, probably 94, 95%, somewhere around in there. And then the August, September, October is one of the highest for it to start. So very strong likelihood that it could start. So anyway, I think it's starting. It's starting behind me right now. Right? So I don't know. We'll see. So it's going to be, you see that it's raining right now over Lake Tahoe. So it's very likely, I think, to start to get a lot more rainy, and we really need it. So how super El Nino could impact Lake Powell, Lake Mead, water crisis is a crisis. There's hardly any water in there as we're speaking. I predicted that it would fill up. It has not yet, but this looks like very strongly that it will achieve that, right? If like nothing else ever could, this super El Nino could actually fill up Lake Powell and the drought-stricken Colorado River system and so forth. And it will be over a longer period of time because it will go all the way into next spring. So that means a lot of mountain snow, a very, very lot. So atmospheric rivers, one after the other. I predicted 4 this last year. We did have 4. I said maybe 5. We didn't have 5. It just kind of petered out. You guys might remember back there where, you would see like really high snow and then not any, and I do a show, and while it's snowing, and then after the show, a little while later, I'm like blowing it off again. There was one time where we had 10 feet, right at 10 feet of snow at my level. There was 3 times where I had to go out and blow it off. It was intense. And I was like, okay, here it comes. And it just started petering out after that. It was weird. So I think it's ramping up to really come in, starting possibly now into the next several months, all the way into the springtime frame. So we need it. And having that kind of snow in the Rockies and here in the Sierra Nevadas would be fantastic. The skiers would be very happy. I like it when skiers are happy. And the restaurants and bars are happy. And the people that work here are happy. They weren't so happy this last year. It wasn't such a great season, but very possibly when you have a little pullback like that, it's like gearing up for a big push, and we're going to have, I think, a mega push. So it'll be very interesting to watch that. I'll keep you guys informed. All right, so Spencer Pratt was a reality TV villain. Now he wants to be LA's savior, right? So I can tell you, as a former Navy SEAL and CIA, I could be a lot more villainous than the villains that I went after, right, and took out. Right? So we were very effective. Now you learn the way of the baddies, and you become to them more of a baddie than they're being, and then they go bye-bye, right? So I think that's what Spencer Pratt's going to do. I think he's going to do that. I think he's going to be exceptional. Everything is looking very positive for him, and we'll go deeper into that as far as like, well, what do you mean? Well, there's lots of people that are looking at that and predicting. They have really good insights. So here it is. Former star of The Hills is running a biting social media savvy campaign to be the next mayor of Los Angeles. So there you see one of his detail guys, obviously, back there looking around, right? If he needs another one, I can help him out. All right, I've done free service for people before in the past. It works out really good. So Los Angeles, Spencer Pratt knows he doesn't need to be universally liked. It's pretty incredible. You can become the mayor with only 51% of people liking you. I'm like, I can do that, Pratt told the crowd. Pratt, 42, rose to millennial fame as the Dark Prince of the Hills, playing the love interest of his now wife, Heidi Montag. He provoked conflict with fellow cast members and was seen by fans as fraying Montag's relationship with her best friend. All right, so the couple settled into Pacific Palisades with their 2 sons, and Pratt opened a healing crystals business. Yes, very good, Mr. Pratt, very good. He trained hummingbirds to eat nectar out of his hand and posted videos on Instagram. I mean, the Democrats should be loving this guy. So, the old Democrats would probably love him. I don't know about the new ones. They're like pretty radical. They just want to shoot everybody that doesn't believe in what they do. He began demanding accountability from the state after his childhood's home. His basically talked about how, and then in early 25, their house burned down. As the ash settled on the Palisades fire, Pratt channeled the grief and fury of thousands of displaced people, sharing with his vast following on TikTok, Instagram, and X what it felt like to lose his home, his parents' home, and his childhood neighborhood. He began demanding accountability from city and state officials, and he and his wife, Montag, are now the lead plaintiffs in a continuing lawsuit blaming government agencies and utility companies for property damage. All right, so he's moved on. He says Pratt, who has said he was registered as a Republican and voted for President Trump in 2024, launched his campaign for mayor in January outside the burned shell of a Spanish-style commercial building in Pacific Palisades. So he told the crowd Los Angeles is being managed into the ground by people who don't have the courage to actually lead. So it sounds like he's doing a really good job of motivating people and getting people behind him. He soon began to hit Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass on some of the city's most intractable problems, including street homelessness and the stagnating entertainment industry, which is losing money, and everybody in the entertainment industry, because of the graft and craziness that goes on in LA. They're making it almost impossible for the movie industry to make any money and do their thing. So they're just leaving. So that's obviously taking a lot of money, and then businesses are leaving, of course, and they're mismanaging everything. All right, so he's doing a really good job. He's moving up, and there's one of the things that's really cool about his campaign. He's got some people that are behind him. So you might remember in the past where they used to have the comics. It goes all the way back into the late 1800s in New York, where they had the yellow journalism and so forth, where they had cartoons of political characters and events that were happening within the city and so forth. He's kind of doing that now, with AI. He's engineering these little videos that are basically poking at the corruption of LA. And of course, Karen Bass and Newsom and so forth, they're not liking it. They're not liking it at all. We're going to watch a few of those and get an idea, you know, what's going on here. This is new. This is revolutionary, and it's having a huge impact on the Democrat landscape. So here's LA is worth saving. Vote Spencer Pratt.
Please, I'm begging you. There's homeless drug addicts in front of the schools. My children aren't safe.
Look, if you were a transgender migrant, I could get you a free pussy.
Let's move the drug addicts closer.
Bass already solved crime. I endorse her.
Please, I just want to rebuild my home. It's been over a year.
Oh, Wolverine, no shit. So he's got some backing. He's got some good people that are backing him. Like I said, he's got some serious money behind him. Let's watch a little bit more of this, and I'll talk about some of the people that are backing him and how deep their pockets are.
Mom, look!
This is a machine. If we want to burn this town to the ground, throw that!
All right. So, of course, Karen Bass is saying, oh, he's promoting violence. So he's like the Batman coming to Gotham City, LA, and saving the day. I think it's pretty fun. I think it's fun. All right. So it goes on to talk about the spectacle owes to Charles Curran, who founded Menace Studio in Los Angeles, focusing creativity on pioneering synthetic AI imagery and video. Quran reportedly uses tools such as ByteDance's C-Dance to generate public domain images combined with. So there's a lot of these out there already, and they're really kicking. So given post-Palisades reality, the rap tune is no longer ironic. Its superb, irresistible rhythm creates an anthem preserving the nativist Black, white, Latino, Asian honor that far-left politicians have sacrificed to the green movement, illegal immigration, progressive cultural insanity, and fraud. All right, so Palisades fire, in which Pratt and more than 6,000 others, 600 in Malibu alone, lost their homes in the conflagration, blamed on Mayor Bass's negligence. So thanks to multiplicity, viral broadcast, other Pratt-centered memes follow similar jokey patterns, right? So it's kind of fun to see some of this. So here's one, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Now this is a story all about how my life got turned upside down and I had to take a minute to run for mayor. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel-Air. In West Los Angeles, Palisades, my backyard is where I spend most of my days, feeding hummingbirds, relaxing all cool, avoiding all the bums outside of the school. When a couple politicians who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fire, my mom got scared and said, "You're moving in with Harvey Levin in Bel Air." I pulled out from my lot about 7 or 8, and I yelled to the rubble, "Yo ho, smell you later." I moved to my kingdom, I was finally there to sit on my throne as a Prince of Bel Air.
All right, so he got a little bit of flack from people that are trying to dime him out and saying you're living in the Hotel Bel Air, which is super luxurious. I think the lowest price room is like $9.99. So he said, "Well, I was living in my Airstream on my property for the last year, and nothing's been done to my property like everybody else's. And my team that basically protects me, protective detail team, is like, you're getting out of there because you got a lot of death threats. We're going to put you in the Bel Air." So that's why he's in the Hotel Bel Air. All right. So I can tell you that a high-end hotel like that has exceptional security, especially with the people that usually stay there. We've had the, Hollywood royalty have lived there, stayed there, and so forth. So that's kind of cool that he's there and running his campaign from there. So talks about, I guess this wasn't the one where I saw him. There was like tons of people that were supporting him. Maybe I'll see it in here. So anyway, let's look. This is another quick one. So he does have a lot of very high-end people in the movie industry. Of course, they would like to see the movie industry come back there in a good way. So they're, supporting him. And there's like lots of other people with deep pockets, like I said, that are supporting him as well. And we need this. We need this to happen.
I'm Karen Bass, and I'm running on my accomplishments.
Los Angeles on fire. Mayor nowhere to be found.
We were so prepared for wildfires. I didn't even have to be in the country when the town burned. I've addressed the homeless problem. Now, most of them won't stab you as long as you don't make eye contact. Our climate change policy is so strong. We've brought down energy use in the Palisades by 99%. Almost none of the needles in children's playgrounds have AIDS on them. If you like the last 4 years, you're going to love the next 4. Vote Bass.
Now we know that the demons are going to try and come in and sabotage this. That's a given, right? So like I said, it's going to have to be a lot of people out there, monitoring this, and a lot of people are going to have to get out and vote, right? And I think that if we have really good people, promoting it like we're seeing right now, and the momentum is going in SPs like Spencer Pratt, we call him Batman, the new Batman, that we could see this really start to turn. And of course, we've talked a lot about Louis Herms, possibly getting, the nomination, or at least being in the running on January 2nd. He feels that he's got a good shot at it. If he had any kind of publicity like Spencer Pratt is having, there would be a massive turnout also for Louis Herms. So Louis was like, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of, he's getting a lot of publicity and support. Sometimes that makes me, kind of look askance at that. Definitely, you have to look at that. And but I think as I look at this, I look at him intuitively, I feel that he's really the guy. He's the man. He's the man of our time. And so let's look at what Meg Moonbeam has said. I like her stuff. She really does a good job on the horoscope, analysis, and she did a really good job on Spencer Pratt. So let's listen to just a little piece. I've listened to her whole show, and that's very, very good.
lot of issues with California. So I think that he's going to win. I think there's a possibility that it may be shown that Karen wins, but then I think a lot is going to be exposed in Los Angeles's chart. And I'll just bring up this chart to show you guys here. Los Angeles is going through a Pluto return. Okay, Los Angeles has Pluto 4 degrees of Aquarius. Right now in the current astrology, Pluto is retrograde 5 degrees of Aquarius. And pretty soon, let me get the exact dates here. Los Angeles is going to have an exact Pluto return this year. Okay, Pluto is the planet that rules exposing secrets, the dark side of life, transformation, cleansing out of toxic negative energy. From June 24th to August 8th, 2026, Pluto will be back at exactly 4 degrees. But even right now, it's only 1 degree off. It's at 5 degrees retrograde. I don't want to look at Karen Bass. Let's get rid of that. She's so freaky. With Pluto conjunct the IC of Los Angeles, which is the most sensitive part of the chart. So Los Angeles going through a Pluto return, it's a crisis point for Los Angeles. We're seeing that with the homelessness issue, with the drug issue, with the crazy wokeness and lies and literal evil demonic energies that are going on there. But Pluto is also about exposing, transformation, cleansing out of toxicity. So I do think that even if this election does get stolen, because Los Angeles is going through a Pluto return, and Pratt's a freaking moon in Scorpio with Mars square Pluto, Saturn conjunct Pluto, he's going to expose it. Other people are going to expose it as well. I don't think the Democrats are going to be able to get away with stealing this election. If they do try to, we could even see huge revolt and protests, Pluto and Aquarius, around that, if that does take place. So absolutely wild, you guys. I went off there. I went off on a little tangent. I was talking about the lords of Spencer's 10th house of to be a politician. So we talked about his Mars, very powerful. 0 degrees of Leo, leadership, bold, pioneering leader, positivity, luck, divine support with doing that, with his Mars and trine to his Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. It is intense that his Mars is square Pluto and square Saturn. So there is conflict about being in leadership positions, challenging situations about being in leadership positions. I do not think that this mayoral race has been easy for him. I would guess that there's some things that he probably hasn't even said publicly, because Pluto can be secrets, things that have to be kept under the rug. Very, very intense for sure. But also with his modern day ruler of his 10th house, Pluto, being conjunct Saturn, Pluto is power. Saturn is to be a politician. So his chart is very strong for him to enter politics.
Awesome. So really good reading on that. She did a real awesome job. So she's not the only one that's seeing that he's a winner for this race. Now, I have seen people that have won races, but they were stolen, right? And there is the possibility, of course, that this could be stolen, as she's talked about. We've seen this over and over again, unfortunately, from the Democrats. We're going to have to like really watch this. The whole world should be like eyes on California on June 2nd. And I plan on being there on June 2nd to support Lewis. It's basically going to be his birthday, right? So, and I hope he gets a good birthday present June 2nd. How about that? So it's a very, very interesting time. Now, Joni Patry is portray. It's basically she says kind of the same things, but in her own style and in her own way. So let's listen to what she has to say. I've got it, kind of right at that point where she discloses pretty much the same thing.
June 2nd, he has a really good chance if he makes it. See, I don't have the charts of the.
So if he makes it, does that mean if he makes it alive there? So there is that possibility. Now, Meg talked about that. Joni is talking about that as well, guys. And that's why, I'm like, I'll donate my, protective support for free. I'd love to have him on the show. We could talk about it. We talk about, spiritual stuff, how he needs to, push the demons out and do it with a love frequency. And he can protect himself with that as well. And his team can do the same. All right. But it is one of those instances where a lot of people are seeing him move forward, but they're seeing lots of obstacles. It's kind of like what's going on in America right now. There's lots of obstacles, but we're moving forward. And hopefully we don't have any really major pitfalls. All right. So we're watching the Democrats, trying to game their game and stop them out as much as we possibly can.
Tenders yet. So if their charts are really good, then they could outdo him. But looking at his chart, yes, he's got a really, really good chance to be one of the two that are running for mayor of LA. Now, so I want to pull up where the transiting planets are on the day of the elections, which are actually, I believe it is November 3rd. I'm pretty certain that's the day, that's the Tuesday. I know it's the first Tuesday.
So if he makes it through the primary and then he moves forward to the November 3rd election, she's looking at, how he looks there.
In November. And what I did find at this point in time is that Jupiter, the whole time he's running, it's going to be in his 10th house from the moon. Right before the elections, Jupiter will be on his sun, which would give him the win. Absolutely give him the win. But right, absolutely give him the win. But there's always that, because we're dealing with people that are criminals and steal elections. All right. So there's thunder behind me, thunder and lightning. How about that? All right. So I think we're going to get some good rain, guys. We need good rain out here. So we're going to stand in the rain and barbecue. And Tracy just told me I'm going to be standing in the rain barbecuing. All right. Oh, well. All right. Bring the rain. I'll do it, as long as the lightning doesn't hit me. And Mars is going to be there too. Debilitated Mars transiting is going to be on his sun, and transiting Jupiter will be on his sun. That would give him the win. But on the day of the elections, November 3rd, Jupiter dropped into Leo. It changes things quite abruptly. And here's what I think. Around this time, there's going to be Mercury and Venus will both be retrograde. I don't think we're going to know the answer on this day. Or there will just be, here's what I do see. There'll be a turn of events that will be surprising to everyone at the last minute. Maybe it looks like he's going to win all the way to the very last second. Something changes.
Yeah, they show up with truckloads of mail-in ballots like they did for Trump in 2020. So that's the way they cheat. We know they cheat. It could be exposed, and that could be part of the process where LA and California are having this, these different planetary alignments and so forth that are going to change, are going to redirect, the way California's going, I believe, right? So, horoscope stuff outstanding. Of course, that's been taken away from us. Horoscopes, planetary readings have been used going back for thousands of years. And then during the certain time frame right after the Renaissance, they came out with the Inquisitions, because they had to stop because people were waking up during the Renaissance. And I think we're going through another Renaissance period right now. So they're going to do everything in their power to stop us from accelerating into new levels of consciousness, just like they did during the Inquisition. All right, so during the Inquisition, they basically took away the readings of horoscopes. Of course, not for the elite. All right, the elite have always used horoscopes, and they still use horoscopes, and they've taken it away from us. So those two ladies do a really good job of doing that. I've had people that have been through my courses that I work with, and they did really well. You have a question, Tracy? Well, then why'd you say that? I have a question, but I don't want to ruin your show. That's don't interrupt then. All right. So moving on. Do you want to ask a question? Because there's a lot of people that ask questions in here.
Okay, I do. So, America, I want to know, when did we allow Satanism to be practiced in America? And my gosh, by golly, gee whiz, when and how did the American United States military allow that to be a religion that can be practiced in our military? Just a question.
Yeah, very good. Good question. Good thought-provoking question. Thank you. All right. So you're somebody asked me about if I have remote viewing courses. Yes. And 20 years of remote viewer. It's like those two amazing women that I think Meg from the time her family was into horoscope readings and so forth, psychics. She grew up in that. So imagine growing up in that and then going into doing that full time. It's amazing. I don't know exactly Joni's background, but from her experience level, it's a lot. So 20 years as a remote viewer. And of course, as a kid, I was all into spiritual stuff, kind of like I guess Spencer Pratt, so, crystals and all that kind of stuff. So it is how do you roll that into a course? It's very easy if you have the background and you have a lot of information, which I did and do. So of course, the experience level, I have incredible experience level as a remote viewer. So that goes into that course. So anyway, yeah, I do have a course. It's in the description box. You look down and it shows where I have courses. So you can click on that. I've had, I think, well over 10,000 people do the remote viewing course at this point. So there's a lot of people have done it. So there's a lot of remote viewers out there. And we used to get together on my old website and do remote viewing together. So it was pretty cool. And we were very, very, very accurate. So incredible. So it's easy to learn it. We all have the capability. We all have the capability of being reading horoscopes. It's just finding someone that can teach you very, very quickly, very easily. So, I looked at, of course, if I'm going to go over there and do some protected detail stuff, how is it with concealed carry? And when I was in California, you had to be, your local sheriff, or you had to do it. And of course, in Nevada, where I'm at, because I have a concealed carry from Florida, and it works here in Nevada. I'll probably get it upgraded here in Nevada pretty soon. But going into California, Nevada, they have, I think, like 28 different states that they have compliance with, right? So you could have a Nevada concealed carry, and you could go to these other states, and these other states can come to Nevada, and you could have concealed carry. All the states but California, all right, not all the states, but California and Connecticut and Vermont and all the Northeast guys. They're all, even Illinois is accepted. And Illinois is like suspect, but there's a lot, just like California, there's a lot of red in Illinois. Just that big blue city, Chicago. Other than that, and I know there's a lot of red in that Chicago city too, but you know, all the way through the South, through the Midwest, until you start to hit the left coast, and then it basically disappears. You don't have it's like you don't have the right to protect yourself. And California doesn't have a stand your ground law either. So if someone comes to threaten you, you can't stand your ground. But if they're a threat where you're going to die, then you can protect yourself. It's like, it's very, they can get you. All right. So, you know, I don't care. Right? If I'm there, I'm probably, maybe, I'm not going to say for sure, but I'm probably going to have, you know, weapons. And, you know, if they have an issue with that, that's okay. So we'll, you know, go with that, you know, how we go with that. But you know, protective detail stuff is definitely my forte. I've done it, like I said, for other people for, you know, for free. And so I extend that. Not full time for a long time, but maybe for a few events or whatever, you know, helping out. So I don't mind. And of course, I do the same for Lewis Herms as well. All right, so it's a crappy world out there right now. Some areas, and I'm not talking about politically. I'm talking about tick-wise. All right, so there are horrifying diseases caused by tick bites are spreading at an exponential rate. Now, I remember I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina. I'd get ticks on me all the time. I was a nature boy. I was always out in the woods, and I'd come home, and you know, parents are pulling ticks off me, and we're pulling ticks off the dogs. Never ever any diseases, any problems, and so forth. And the ticks weren't that numerous. I remember when I was in the SEAL teams, I was in Virginia, and we're doing an operation where I was in a swamp, and I was looking at, we had a target that we were watching, and I was watching it for a couple of days with a couple other group of guys. We were the 4 guys watching this target we're going to take down. And so, of course, we did a great job. They were stellar taking it down the target because we had good eyes on for a couple of days. And so when the team came in, we just went right in and took care of business. I remember going back and showering, and I had, I think, like 20 something ticks on me. I was like, holy smokes. Same thing, you just pull them off. Never got any kind of problems. Now, a buddy of mine, still buddy of mine, was up in one of the Northeast states. You know, it started in Plum Island off of New York. There was a little island off the New York coast called Plum Island. The Nazis came over and they started, you know, doing their bullshit, and they created, you know, these diseases for the ticks. And ticks were never a problem until after the 40s and 50s. And then they just started to spread. And then this really strange new disease came about in, I think it was Lyme. Was it Lyme, Pennsylvania, or Lyme, Vermont? One of those states has a name, Lyme. And that's where Lyme disease supposedly started. Maybe it was Lyme, New York. I don't know which one it is, but it was a city called Lyme. And that's the first known case of the Lyme disease from a tick came from there. Now, a lot of people have Lyme's disease these days, and it's undiagnosed. There's some kind of disconnect with the doctors and so forth. They don't recognize it. They don't plan for it, because that's a Nazi system for you. It's a Nazi healthcare system. So they're basically trying to kill us. So they're not recognizing the Lyme disease. They don't have it in their, I guess they're not taught, and they don't have it in their procedures for finding it. So the best, if you suspect you have if you have a tick bite, you have a tick on you, and then you start having issues, go to somebody that is not a normal doctor, all right? Because they'll just put you on drugs, and you'll be on drugs for like years and years and years. You'll get worse and worse, and you won't be able to leave your house. So my buddy that got Lyme's disease, we had a Native American friend, Iroquois Indian Native American friend, Ralph, that basically had a tonic, and you would rub it, or I think you drank it, and then it would detox you, and it would come out your feet. And he said that he was walking across the carpet. He was like all sickly, and he was walking across the carpet, and there were footprints of where this stuff had come through his system and washed it all out, and he got well. He was well after that. So there are natural treatments out there to handle this, but you're not going to get it in regular medicine, guys. Like we know from COVID and so forth, it's the unwellness system, not the wellness system, right? All right, so let me share the screen so you guys can see some of this craziness with this tick stuff. You can now get a disease where you will get sick if you eat meat. So you will not be able to eat meat for the rest of your life. Yes, there's and they're finding boxes of ticks out in the wild and on ranches, and the animals are getting ticks all over them. They're definitely trying to kill us off, guys. And who knows? Maybe not Fauci, but Microsoft guy, Bill Gates. Maybe Bill Gates, because he doesn't want people to eat meat. He wants he's got this company that's a non-meat, so maybe he's involved in this. Who knows? Speculation, obviously. But let me give you the stats on this.
Here, even Roseanne Barr.
So Tracy chats with Roseanne Barr. Right? All right, so they were chatting. And so it says, okay, I just watched a horrifying segment on Newsmax. Alpha-Gal ticks. I'm livid. Will replay approximately 9:25 tonight on Finnerty, a must-watch. Once you have been bitten, you have exhaustion like you just want to sleep. And you immediately become deathly allergic to red meat to the point where you can't even walk past the barbecue grill. Wow, that would really suck for me, right? Because I'm a daily barbecuer. If you eat red meat, you can die easily from your throat closing up. So it sounds like anaphylactic shock. People are dying from this tick bite, and over 451,000 in Texas have this issue now. Bill Gates behind it? Created these ticks and a vaccine for it. Pfizer just now offering a new tick vax. And a guy at one of these weave type events brags about how great this tick is and will stop people from eating meat. It is obscene to watch. Why is Bill Gates or Fauci free men? Why? Replay tonight approximately, so she goes into that. So that's from Roseanne Barr, right? So
Be sure to watch her show.
She's got a new show coming up, so be sure to watch it. It's going to be fantastic. We've got some insights, but we can't share it. So anyway, in Michigan, the number of cases grew by 168% from 2020 to 2024. And the numbers are getting ugly. According to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Lyme disease cases in Michigan increased 168% between 2020 and 2024, from 452 confirmed cases to 1,215. So this other one has got quite a name, osmosis. The second most common tick, I've never even heard of this until like a few days ago. Roseanne Barr and Trace were talking about it. Tick-borne disease in the state nearly quintupled in the same window. Tick populations have expanded across both peninsulas in nearly every Michigan. See how this is all in that area where Plum Island started it, guys. County now carries confirmed Lyme risk. In Ohio, the number of cases went from 40 in 2010 to 2,819 in 2025. Incidents of tick-borne Lyme disease in Ohio have risen substantially over the past several years. All right. 2010, 40 cases of Lyme disease reported across Ohio compared to 415 in 2020 and 2,819 in 2025. This is accelerating at a very dangerous pace. All right. Very dangerous. People are not going to go into the woods anymore. All right. This is tragic. At this point, approximately 90% of all Lyme disease cases in the United States are located in just 14 states. Connecticut, which does not have a concealed carry that's transferable to other states. All right. Maine, same thing. Maryland, same thing. Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, Virginia, West Virginia, Wisconsin. All right. So huge Democrat states. Huge Democrat states. The Lone Star tick is a big problem because it transmits alpha-gal syndrome, a condition where a single bite triggers your immune system to develop an alert allergy to alpha-gal, a sugar molecule found in most mammal tissue: beef, pork, lamb, rabbit, venison. Yes, a tick bite can make you allergic to venison. The CDC estimates up to 450,000 Americans are living with it and acknowledges that's insane, and acknowledges that's likely a significant undercount. What the hell? So nearly 500,000 people already have alpha-gal syndrome, and that number is growing with each passing day. And I saw a guy that had it. He was pretty pissed, and his face was all flushed. His neck was all flushed. Pretty crazy. So you get a mammalian meat allergy, so you can't eat mammals anymore. So that's definitely Bill Gates stuff. All right. So when did this shit start? Says so what that study discovered, the meat allergy increased by 5,500% in just 10 years. So, yeah, you're not going to get COVID. You're not going to get hantavirus. You're not going to get Ebola, but you're going to get tick bit. Right? Not good. All right, not good. It's really starting to increase. Interestingly, last December, President Trump ordered an investigation. Yay. Into biological weapons experiments on and in relation to ticks and tick-borne diseases. So if we're starting to do the investigation, guys, it's hopefully we get a real legit, way to like stop the ticks, get rid of ticks. It don't like possums, love ticks. We need to get possum farms. And take them out and have them clean the fields, something. All right. And then there's natural ways to cure people, guys. There's always a natural way, always. We just need to find what they are and spread that information around. So really, really sad, the things that are going on with these psychopaths. But that's their... Until we start to arrest them, put them in prison, or execute them, they're going to continue to do this bullshit to us. All right. So that's all I got for today. I hate to end on a bad note, ticks and all that bullshit. But we are moving, I think, towards removing the political class that allows this kind of stuff to happen. Right. So we get that political class out there
We get rid of the judges that protect the people that are doing this evil stuff. We get rid of the lawyers that, you know, fight us when we try to stop this stuff out. We're gonna win, and I don't think it's going to be something that's going to, you know, be a problem, you know, for the rest of our lives. I think it's going to be something we're going to start to take care of very soon, within the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. We're going to start cleaning these people out that are doing all this stuff to us. It's a very, very incredible time. I just did a show with Juan O'Savin and Josh Reed, and we talked about a little bit of this. It's coming. The rest are coming, right? So after July 4th, our 250th anniversary, very good indication that's when we're going to start to move on some of these criminals, right? And that's crazy. Chickens eat ticks too. I love chickens even more. So chickens lay eggs, and gosh, they convert those ticks to eggs that were yummy and great for you. A good protein.
They're gardeners.
They're gardeners. You know, they send them out to the fields and so forth, and they clean. They're great for the land. Their poopy is good for the soil and everything. So chicken poop, right? I remember my mom used to buy bags of chicken poop. I was like, used to help her plant. It was good. All right, guys. Lots of love. Stay in the love vibration, and we'll see you guys next time.